Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Happy New Year's, everybody. We are now finally in 2019. Well, not sure what to say at the moment, but today we are going to be doing a little bit of a special today. My old roommate from last year has called me up and saying, hey, I want to come check out your Drift Trike. I want to ride it. And I'm just like, sure, okay. But first, before we do that, we need to prepare. Concerning that it is still the cold season of formerly December, now January. It looks nice outside, but it's still cold. And poor JunkRat here, that is the official name for the trike. I have been teeter-tottering with different names. I still couldn't figure out what to do. I'm gonna name it JunkRat because not totally not inspiration from Overwatch or anything, even though I barely played the game, but just considering the current color palette that we have with trike, I think the name fits well. Considering it kind of has that junkyard look, considering how the state of the frame, we need to get going next year or later in March or something to paint this or do something. I'm going to be talking about that later, like for future plans here. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to be doing just a couple things. One of the things being is we're just going to make sure that it runs. Well, of course it still runs because I've been cold starting it recently, but also just want to make sure it's just good to go. The chain's not going to fall off or anything. Then do a quick little alley run test before I see you tomorrow, and then we do the actual test. All right, give me a minute. I got to get set up here. It missed me. All right, here we go. All right, we're going. Okay. So, not too sure if I want to like re-tension the chain. This is actually pretty stiff, but when this thing starts rolling, it's just the fact that this sounds really loud and kind of hear that. And also, I think after the first Maiden Voyage, we may have bent the axle just a little bit because this wheel here kind of hears. So I think. You know, come to think of it, it might just be okay, but yeah. All right, so what I'm gonna do instead is just check the oil level here, and then check the gas level, and start her up. Give it a bit of a cold start. Ooh, I see oil, and actually that's the oil fill level, not the. Come on. May have to do an oil change. Who knows? Hope not. Well, actually. Do want to change your I assume you want to change your oil frequently, but still might be okay considering I didn't do much usage out of this engine just yet. We only had one fair ride, a couple of test runs in the alley here, and then of course I came out here a couple times to cold start it. Oh yeah, that's drenched in oil. I didn't overfill it, and the low oil sensor is still hooked into this thing. When we did the Maiden Voyage Part 3, was it Part 3? Pretty sure it was Part 3. But when we did the Maiden Voyage off camera, when my dad was still ripping around the yard, tearing up his yard, it did shut off on him once, and then it started to smoke a little, and I think it's just because the oil was sloshing around, and then it tricked the sensor into thinking, hey, we're out of oil. There's still plenty of oil. Gas. Ugh. Plenty of gas in there still. With fuel stabilizer, because while I'm going to college, I don't think I was going to be riding it as much considering the wet weather, and also not to mention that it's cold outside. So, all right, let's see we fire this thing up. Shaft's still good. Yeah, all right, here we go. So we are going to set that thing, turn the fuel on, set the start, or turn the engine on, and then give it a crank. Alright, straight up the paint's pretty tight. I think that's normal. You can kind of see it moving Yeah, it died. I think it still needed time to warm up, but I'm pretty sure when I get this in our crank, it's going to go off again. Yeah, there he goes. There we go. Atta girl. That is really loud. Yeah, I don't know why it's that screaming so loud. The chain is actually pretty tight. It probably could use some graphite lubricant, which I do have in stock, or maybe we might just need to lube the chain up or something. But if you didn't hear it in the video, when the axle is spinning, this thing just oscillates kind of just a little off like that. It's partially noticeable, but we might have bent the axle just a wee bit here, but who knows. I want to talk about some future plans that I wanted to do with this trike. The first thing being is the brake system. I've been doing some more research, and I am going to refrain from adding a rear disc brake kit to the rear axle, because if you think about it for a minute, okay, it would work perfect if these sleeves weren't here, because it's like sliding on ice on a car. So if you were to hit the brake in the rear axle, the axle will lock up, and then you'd be sliding on ice still, and then how else are you supposed to stop it? If I applied the brake lightly, that could help, but I mean, it's not worth the money. For the engine here, I'm gonna refrain from removing the governor on this. Call me a wuss and everything, but reality is I'm not. I said this in the last part where I'm not as fortunate, where Carson Cameras has like what 20 engines and only one of them blows up in the year. I just don't want to risk it, because I mean, these engines are pretty spendy, parts are spendy, and I want this thing to last as much as I can without replacing too many parts. But with that being said, I have seen some comments where you could supposedly loosen up the throttle screw down. Focus. Can you see that little screw right there? It's sitting right, yeah, there it is. It's focusing in on it right now. But rumor has it you can loosen out to get a few more RPMs out of your engine when you have the stage 1 kit. That is one of the minimal mods I'm wanting to do for this engine for the time being, considering what the application for what it's for. So that means I will be doing the new air filter kit, taking out this air box, and then putting like one of those little air filters here, keep it the same carb, and then sometime soon getting a header and muffler. If I just had the header and no muffler, that thing's going to be loud, and you know, it's city limits, and I don't want to go deaf, if that makes any sense. That's just what I think of it. So yeah, that's just all I want to do with the engine. If somehow, I know I spent $20 already on this rim, it's great and everything, but if somehow I find a donor bike that has a disc brake on it, I want to switch to that. Rim brakes, I have heard, tear to shreds. And so you have to keep an eye on the pads and replace them as often. But my counter argument is, these pads I think are like $4 at Bi-Mart or something, and they've been pretty good to me for my other vehicles like Harley and Beta over here. But maybe sometime in the far future we might look into getting a disc brake for this front tire, just so it's not wearing on the pads and further on with the rim. Paint. This is one of the things that I have been also struggling with. I keep wanting to change the color palette, but I decided to just go to my original idea. So, like the reason I have been changing colors, because first of all, I love the way that the metal looks just like this, but at the same time, I want to treat it some, and I know you can just clear coat it and then call it good, but I mean, there's some other spots like I can't really point it. I mean, this is great and everything, and then you get over here, it's kind of just shiny, and I don't know. I mean, if I took the time to like sand this whole down and polish it with some steel wool and make it like a similar look, kind of like what I've done here already, that could work. But I still want to do some So as a tribute to my old mountain bike where this front fork came from, I wanted to paint the whole thing. I originally wanted to paint the whole thing charcoal gray and then get some maroon red, because here's a picture of what the bike used to like before it was chopped up and then decommissioned and everything. But then I changed my mind again and said, okay, let's still do the charcoal gray as the base coat, but let's spray on some cobalt blue, kind of like some spray paint art here. To give you a reference for what I mean, this is like my PVC pedal car here. You kind of see how I mixed a few colors in here. I used navy blue. What is it? I'm trying to look at that can right there. It's that blue you see right there. So I mixed navy blue, that blue, a little bit speckles of white, and then I went to town and just mixed a few colors. I'm sorry, I'm also just air quality is a little fuddy-duddy here, and I'm just kind of out of breath from speaking. But yeah, I went to town and I've just been experimenting. I wanted to do something like that on the trike, but I wanted to do it more, what's the word? Just committed. I want to commit to painting this properly, like kind of give it a professional look. So, but then the only problem is, okay, the only problem with that is I feel like the color scheme I had there was repetitive, because I mean, you've got blue and black on the sidekick. There is black and silver on my BMX bike here, Shadow. And then we have a contrast of Harley with green and some black fenders, and cool. But can't think of a scheme. So I was thinking, okay, next color palette, let's do some colors that might re-mimic this texture. So like gray, a little bit of red, some black, call it good. But then I'm just like, I don't know, spaced out. I keep thinking back and forth. Please don't fall off the jacks. So I'm thinking, okay, let's go back to the original design, call it good. Here's the final plan. Sorry to bore you out here, but the final plan is we are going to do a base coat of charcoal gray, and then we're going to do a spray paint art technique just like with Beta there, and we're going to just spray up a little bit of cobalt blue and black, kind of mix it in, and then clear coat on top of that. Moving quick, because I kind of want to have like a fusion of the paint, if that makes any sense. If you look up spray paint art, like people doing spray paint art, you kind of see how they fuse the colors together and clear coat it and then makes it look wonderful. That's what I'm going for here. I know officially that the rims are going to be cobalt blue. There was a video that I saw too, where they taped just like the ring of this outer ring here of the wheel, and then they spray painted the entire wheel and gave it a rat rod look to it, or some kind of hot rod look. That's what I want to replicate here with cobalt blue. And we will paint the rim cobalt blue and try to keep those black spokes, because I love the look on it, and I think this is going to look good. For the fork, we are actually going to use different colors here. Like that black we're going to keep, but I want to touch it up because you can probably see a couple rust spots and it just looks dingy. Yeah, there you go. Right, do you see that little rust spot right there? That's just dingy. Of course, we kind of ground out the paint, considering my welder had to move the brake bracket down. And yeah, but that's basically future plans. We are also going to, as comical as it is for me, I do want to put a head and taillight system on here, and then I also want to wire a kill switch. Of course, it's great where it is right there, but imagine like just a little key toggle switch. You just click, pull the engine, and then do your things, and when you're done, click, and then the engine turns off, just like that. Of course, we'll use the 12-volt battery system. I have one more headlight that I used on Harley there, and we're going to be using that same taillight. The headlight is going to mount somewhere right here, I think, on the fork, and aim straight out. Or maybe we can also, excuse me, we can also maybe put it right there and maybe have it shine out like that, but actually that might look a little silly. We might stick it here, I don't know yet. And then the taillight will go on one of these sides. I'm thinking the left as opposed to the right, because I mean, if you think about your state laws, if the driver's side taillight goes out, you're gonna get an easy ticket. If the passenger side taillight goes out, it's less likely, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's pretty much the future plans for this trike. One more thing that I wanted to do, and I'm glad I got this as a Christmas present. I want to show some love and support to my favorite YouTube channel, Cars and Cameras, with their ultimate sticker pack that my mom got me for Christmas. Thank you so much, Mom. I'm going to do the usual "it'll be fine," and I'm going to put that right over the 212cc. And I might just put the Cars and Cameras. I was just thinking right there, but actually that is actually kind of big. I didn't want to put any stickers on the trike yet because I have to paint it first and then maybe put some stickers on and then clear coat on top of that just to keep this from peeling, if that makes any sense. That actually might not have to do a thing, but I want to wait to put stickers on the actual frame itself. I just wanted to dress up the engine and then maybe put cars in. That's not going to work. That's the problem. Man, I was really hoping that would work, but I mean that could work, but the only thing is just the S. The C and the S are actually going to kind of be in the way, and that looks, actually that look okay. All right, well, I'm gonna put these stickers on. All right. You know, as I say, no parts, no tools, no plans, it'll be fine. If you want this sticker pack, by the way, you can go to cars-cameras.com, and then this is their ultimate sticker pack, or you can always choose from a variety of other stickers. Oh. Yeah, no parts, no tools, no plans. It'll be fun. There was parts and there was tools and there was plans, but you know, I still say it'll be fine all the time, you know? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I'm just gonna go ahead and place the sticker right here on the fuel tank, or actually, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Or we can also just do, that actually instead on top of the fuel tank. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, well, it's not perfect, but it'll be fine. So I don't know how much you saw of that, me trying to get up the hill, but I mean, considering that we're on sleeves and it's a slightly steep incline, it has a little bit of trouble. But I did slide it around and nailed it. Kind of back to where I started, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think that's just about everything that I'm gonna do today. I got a busy day today, got some other things to do, and then tomorrow is gonna be the, well, not an official, oh, excuse me. It's gonna be another Maiden Voyage. We're gonna be mostly dealing with asphalt this time. There's a parking lot at a community college just about 10 minutes from here, and I'm pretty sure it's still the New Year's, or it's just still the winter break for them, and I think it should be okay. This parking lot I'm thinking of is not really active. If something goes wrong and they kick us out, then, well, I'll respect that and we'll go. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.